Right, and welcome along to the Invincible podcast with Lee Judges and Julian in the place. And I'm back. I'm back in the place.
Good to have you back, Rob. Good to have you back. Thank you.
You're going to do to me what you did last.
Well, you know what? I'm not even too sure if I'm going to shake your hand, right? Because I heard last week, right? He was slagging me off. Yeah, he was slagging me off because I didn't tell him that I was going over to Dubai, which was a last-minute trip, by the way, for some business that I had to go over there and do. But I heard that you were slating me off.
It was only because Cecil told me that you knew well in advance and that you specifically didn't tell me because you're worried that I'd turn up.
So you were slagging me off? That's true.
Slagging you off. I was disappointed that I didn't know. That's not slagging you off.
Were you disappointed that you didn't know what?
Well, because it was like thrust on me that you weren't there. But you were moaning as well.
I never said a word.
You're such a liar.
I never said a word. Listen, there is even film evidence that I never said anything.
Yeah, I heard there's some evidence. Let me see the evidence.
Let us know what they are, Julian. Are you bold enough to say that?
No, are you?
No. I said it before we come in, so feel free. Feel free to say it.
No, be more of an open conversation. Maybe some of us will get more chance to speak. Potentially.
What are you saying that Robbie talks a lot? Is that what you're saying?
He talks slightly more than Laurie does. I think that let's look at the benefits and the positives. Laurie gives us more chance to respond. Would that be fair?
I don't know. I'm not going to slag Robbie off when he's not here. I'm going to be really honest with you. I quite like Robbie. With what you said downstairs, I'm not too sure if you like him these days.
No, I do like him.
There you go. There you go.
Video evidence, right?
Video
evidence. So I know that you talk now.
Yeah, I think in a court of law they would dismiss that.
No, they wouldn't
as
dismiss
being
it.
entrapment.
In my court, I don't dismiss that, right? I take that as hardcore evidence of you slagging me off
on the show. You know what I mean?
But you're luring me in. Oh, do you not like Robbie? Do you not like Robbie? Like you're trying to get me to say things.
Oh, I never said that. It was downstairs.
What do you mean? Video evidence. Video evidence.
Thank you.
You was very yeah.
Always, as they say, keep your enemies close.
Yeah, well, I exactly thought that. I was pleased that, it was nice because I think, I was saying like Robbie works hard, he deserves a break and all that. I liked him.
I never disputed. No,
you was going, he's out of order, going away.
No, I didn't say that. I missed him, which is a positive. I missed you.
You see how you stuttering?
Well, you couldn't wait to slag him off. And then
thank you,
and
man.
I like Laurie, by the way, but
what?
No, he's slagging up a brother as well now.
He was
going for the whole family.
No, he wasn't slagging up that. No, he was saying how much better you are, Laurie, than Robbie. You was saying all of that.
No, I wasn't. That's an absolute lie.
You was saying it.
No, I wasn't.
We'll have to see Laurie on there like that. Laurie went out of here floating. I thought he was the best thing since sliced bread.
Laurie and Robbie's style are slightly different. That was the comment that I made. Different styles, that's all.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I wouldn't trust him.
And then you hear this guy, he's disappointed that I haven't told him, and you're my girlfriend or something.
Well, yeah.
What do I have to say? He said, Julian, it's all right. Can I go? What's that about? I've got to ask your permission now to go somewhere.
I think it was Cecil stirring things.
No, but you said it earlier. You said you're just disappointed that I didn't tell you, didn't inform you of.
It's only because
what did I
got to
inform you for?
He'd made out.
What did I inform you? Who the hell are you, man? You're my girl.
Yeah, it was called. Cecil made out that he'd known for ages that you were going.
So what?
And he'd specifically been told to keep it secret from the two.
Don't listen to that.
And you were upset as well. You were upset as well.
I didn't listen. Cecil's away at the moment. I didn't even know he was away this week, right? I know he was going away soon, but I didn't know he was away.
No, he told us.
But I'm not on the phone to him, ringing him up saying, "Yo, Cecil, how comes you told me you didn't tell me you're going Dallas?"
When he was away, have I messaged you or anything like that?
No.
I just kept as Julian.
Yeah, when you went to Dubai, you never told me specifically. Told me the day you were going.
Absolutely, he's told you. I always keep you informed.
You didn't even tell your missus. Anyway, I'm back now, right? And it's good to be back. And I'll tell you what it was absolutely glorious, right? That obviously no game on that. So I'm thinking, first of all, we're going to get to the draw, right? But yeah, no game on. So I'm thinking to myself, the United Liverpool game, I'll go and watch that. And then I'm like, hold on a minute, Tottenham have played today, and the Premier League, I was like, they probably romped that. When I looked and saw 3-0 to Fulham, I'll tell you, man, that was glorious. That made my weekend. Especially as I seen all these Tottenham fans, when they saw the draw for Arsenal come out and see that we got Bayern Munich in the semi-final, and then, in the quarterfinals, and then potentially, if we do get through that, it's either City or Real Madrid. They were giving it, you lot are out, and then they couldn't even handle their business on the Saturday against Fulham. Oh, man, and that would have made them go fourth, wouldn't it?
Do you know?
It's brilliant.
Do you know what? One Spurs fan, right? One of my mates. I'm gonna mention him as well. Harry, right? Message in a group and turned around and said, like, 7 teams and 7 elite teams and Arsenal, right, in the group, like, and then turned around and said, like, just making up the numbers. I just thought, like, well, he'd know, wouldn't he? Like, you know what I mean? He'd been doing it all his life with Tottenham, you know what I mean? Like, incredible that they've got the audacity to say something like that, Yeah. They're not even in the competition, they're not even in Europe, but here we are, just making up the numbers. Well, they've been making up the numbers in the Premier League, like, since it existed.
I'll tell you, man, that team, man, there's a gift that keeps on
giving. They are the gift that
They're
keeps on
working.
giving, And I'll tell you what, a few of the Spurs fans were saying, we beat Fulham. We've got Luton next. We beat them. You'll lose. You ain't got a game this week. You lose to City. That's 6 points. We'd be right back on up against you, like,
But that's one of the main pleasures. Well, not the main pleasure, but one of the main pleasures of supporting Arsenal. That Spurs are always going to be one of your main rivals, because even when things are dark for us, you can always take pleasure in their misery. And it will always come back. It will always come back.
That team's cursed, man. I'll tell you.
Yeah, it is. But for a week, I mean, I was looking at last weekend, and I was sort of thinking I'm going to really miss football. But actually, it was a good weekend of football, as good as it could get.
Brilliant.
With
the FA
Arsenal,
Cup was
with
brilliant.
Arsenal not playing. The FA Cup.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and the FA Cup was excellent. I especially enjoyed Klopp's interview after the game with the reporter. I mean, I thought myself, I don't know what you thought. Did you see it?
I saw it, yeah.
I thought that was really rude. I mean, it was funny,
rude.
But I thought he was really disgusting with that reporter. I mean,
Basically saying the guy's fat, wasn't he?
He don't like losing, does he?
Nah.
But like when he loses, I like Klopp whenever there's an excuse, this and that. Well, when Arteta does it, he's bang out of order. Like,
do you reckon that defeat is good for us? I know it's a separate competition, or is it bad? Would you rather them have stayed in the FA Cup and go to the end? Or do you think to yourself that them getting knocked out, that knocks their momentum a bit? Like,
do you know what? I'm going to say it now, right? I thought it was a bad thing, but then they would have got Coventry in the next round, so I didn't want that. I wanted it to be Liverpool versus Man City in the semi-final. Now they've gone out, I'm not bothered either way on it. Like, I think that it'd be... Listen, that would have dented their confidence a little bit. And what I did notice of that game, I don't know how you feel about this, watching it. I felt that Liverpool didn't manage that game like they've managed it years before.
They were awful.
You know what I mean? They had that. They started off, Man United, right... First, they started off like everything wrong about it. Like, what you do is you go there, stifle the crowd and everything. They give them all the initiative, didn't they? They get the goal, they come back to 2-1, and you think, right, they're going to go and kick on and they never did. Never did. They shot themselves in the foot every single time in that game, and that's the FA Cup.
That last goal where it's like 3-on-1 with about seconds left.
It was a fantastic game.
It was a great game.
It was a good game for the neutral, and I was undecided who I thought it would be best for Arsenal to win. But then, I mean, I've been looking into this, and I've done a spreadsheet as well.
Really?
But, yeah, I've done a spreadsheet. But then
spreadsheet?
Yeah. So what's happened, or what will almost undoubtedly happen, is that Man United will beat Coventry in the semi-final, so they will go on to the FA Cup final. Now they're playing Arsenal it's their penultimate game, and they will, I'm pretty certain, have a cup final to look forward to. So I think that's in Arsenal's interests, because
true.
when you look,
Good point.
so when you look historically, is that teams, even subconsciously, they don't want to get injured. They're not playing for anything else. And I think people can use the counter argument they're playing for their places. But I think most of them know, the core of the team know who's going to be playing and who's not. There might be one or two places up for grabs, and that'll be it. So I think it will give Arsenal a slight edge in that game. The fact that United will be going on for a cup final.
Spot. What did you make of the draw? Obviously, I was over in Dubai, and when I saw that draw, I must say, man, I was like, boy, you know what I mean, this is an awful draw. You know what I mean, like the hardest possible teams we could have got. Bayern Munich with Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Right? Even though I know that Bayern haven't been that great this season, but it's still going to be, it's a semi-final.
Bayern Munich.
Keep saying semi-final, quarter-final, right? And then if we get through that, City or Real Madrid. I mean, if we get to the final, you can't get a harder route than that.
No. But like, you know, you're going to have to play them sometime. And the one thing I looked at it, and when we got Bayern Munich, I weren't disappointed with Bayern Munich. I'll be honest. I think that they're a good side, but don't matter who you're going to get a tough one. And if I'll be really honest, there were tougher teams than Bayern Munich, right? Happy with that. Then when the semi-final draws come, I was then going like, you know, get away from them two, and where they come out. So if you get through Bayern Munich, you're going to have a difficult game, and you know it's probably going to be Man City, and that then Liverpool will be rubbing their hands at that.
Yeah,
their hands at that.
Yeah.
If I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm wanting Arsenal to win and Manchester City to win, so that them two teams beat each other up in a week where it's going to be, you know, it's in May and it's right at the end of the season. It's a real you know, if you go to Real Madrid, it's a little bit different because it's away from the league sort of thing. But I think City have beat Real Madrid over 2 games, so you're going to have to take City on over 2 games. I would prefer to take City on over 1 game, but you know, as my Spurs mates have alluded to, you know, they have took them on in 2 legs and beaten them. So you know. They
had all the luck.
Well, you've got to have a little bit of luck.
You do need it. It is a cup competition, but I mean, I'd agree with you. I wasn't happy with the Bayern draw. I was neutral because I think we could have got easier teams and we could have got harder teams. So I thought Bayern were kind of average. I thought it tipped it slightly against us, the fact that the second leg is in Bayern. I thought that was against us, but then
both games,
both games. But then I thought the potential semi-final was as bad as it can get, and again we're playing away from home in the second leg. So I thought overall that draw was poor, especially as that we're now in the away dressing room for the final.
Yeah. Do you think though that you can get the job done in the first leg?
Well, yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, like
in games you can.
So, like, you know, we played Liverpool at home. If we play like that, we beat them 3-1 Liverpool that day. We could go and get it done in the first, or is it going to be?
We've got to go for it in the first leg.
Yeah.
We've got to go for it in the first leg. You know what I mean? I think against Bayern, Arsenal have to go for it in that first leg. You can't go to Bayern like, I don't know, 1-0 or just like.
Do you think 1-0 will be good?
No, I don't think 1-0.
I don't think 1-0 will be enough.
You've got to get 2, at least 2.
Lazio had a 1-0 lead over.
Got blew away.
But to be honest, they didn't turn up in the second leg. We ain't been great away from home in the Champions League. That's the thing. So that's why I feel.
We haven't been great in Europe.
Yeah,
full stop.
We're going to have to.
Away from home.
Yeah, we're going to have to address that. But we also really have to take advantage of that first leg. Our understanding there'll be no Bayern fans there because they've been banned from that game because of their incident with Lazio. So that's an advantage. We got to, like, that place has to be on. I mean, I'm looking forward to that game already. Yeah, that place is going to be on fire, right? And we've got to really stick it on them, and we've got to defend. But I think we can beat Bayern. But it is the toughest possible draw we could have got. Yeah. And when I saw that, man, I was like, oh my God, can I have another drink, please? You know what I mean?
Do you know Arsenal also have been told if you sell your ticket to a Bayern Munich fan,
that's it.
You're
banned for life.
Banned for life.
If you're a fan.
So if you've got a season ticket,
right,
and you say a Bayern Munich fan says, I'll give you £1,000 for it.
Yeah.
Right, and they find out.
How many do you need?
Arsenal find out.
Yeah.
Then your season ticket will be
banned for life.
Banned for life.
Wow.
So
don't sell your tickets.
Yep, don't sell. So well, I wouldn't either. But like
Listen, I wouldn't be selling my tickets for that game
very,
anyway.
very serious that no Bayern Munich fans will be in there.
Yeah.
And look, this is the first time I can never remember a competitive game at the Emirates. Where the whole is going to be Arsenal.
Yeah, and it's strange because Bayern Munich, their fans are normally very well behaved and all right. You know what I mean? So. They kicked off between them and Lazio. I think there's something about they threw fireworks into their end and stuff like that.
I think it's fireworks.
Yeah. So anyway, but what I want to do on today's show, seeing as you've got your spreadsheet available, right? I wanted to look at the running. What are you looking at me like that for?
No, I'm happy that you gave
me... Like a little love puppy there. Did you see that? No, it's a bit of a worry now. It is a bit of a worry, Julian.
It's good that we got some notice of what we were going to discuss today, because I have found it slightly more taxing and challenging when we turn up and I don't know what's coming and then you sort of spring it on us, which is fine. I know you like it that way.
I like spontaneity.
Yes.
But you know what, actually, let's do something else.
What? I spent 2 hours doing my spreadsheet.
I've decided we'd do something else today. So we was going to discuss the running. But I've decided that we're going to...
I told you not to believe it, didn't I? 2 hours is wasted.
I can't tell you on air what I gave up for doing that spreadsheet. Yeah.
It's wasted. 2 hours.
Yeah.
What have you give up? Yeah, I know.
You know what got sacrificed.
I know. Yeah, I know what you give up. You know what I mean? Or you didn't get it. You know what I mean?
I just thought we.
I think we're going to do it anyway.
Nah. So, you know what I mean? All jokes aside, why are you wasting 2 hours? You should have. You know what I mean?
What's that song? You go football and they sing. Cry in a minute. It's gonna cry in a minute. Cry in a minute.
Yeah, because I created a spreadsheet to forecast each game and all the points.
What did you give up? That's what we want to know. Like,
yeah, what are you giving up?
Did you give up your dinner or
what did you give up?
Or you put it? Was it like, you know?
I gave up some quality time with my girlfriend. She actually asked me, what's more important, my spreadsheet or spending time with her? All I can say is I finished the spreadsheet.
I feel bad now.
I feel bad now, yeah.
And it was a good subject. I complimented you on the subject.
What are we talking about then, Rob? What was it?
Well, I was going to discuss something else today.
Yeah, go on then.
But if you actually do this spreadsheet.
No. Let him suffer it. You know what I mean? Like, it's got more spreadsheets than I don't know what.
Hey, production, what do you reckon? Different subject.
Well, so we can do it quickly, the spreadsheet.
I'll do the spreadsheet. All right. They said we did it. All right, listen, we're going to do it. We're going to do it.
So how do you discuss it without the spreadsheet? That's what I'm interested in.
Anyway, listen, what we are going to do, we're going to discuss, right, obviously, what everybody's talking about at the moment, which is the running, right? Let's take a look. We did a few weeks ago, we had a look at the 5 games coming up for each club, which we've navigated those brilliantly, right? Now let's take a look at what's going to happen from now till the end of the season, because the thing is, it's really games are running out. I mean, even the other day I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, May, it's nearly upon us, and then that's it, the season's over. And somebody's going to be crowned, the champions of the Premier League, and it's so close at the moment. Us and Liverpool are on exactly the same amount of points, but we've got a better goal difference, and City 1 point back. And these games coming up are going to be critical. And Liverpool and Man City in the past have been able to put together these unbelievable runs where they literally just go on a run and lose a game. City did it last year to us, and that's how they won the league. Liverpool have done it before. Can we do that? Or are you going to need to do that this time around? Or are teams going to slip up? So let's take a look at the runnings. I'm going to go through each of them. He's got his glasses out. I'm going to go through each of them. What's that? It's actually got a spreadsheet.
Yeah, I'd have done it on the iPad, but I left the iPad in Seville, unfortunately, so I had to print it out.
Right.
Got you a copy just in case.
Thank you
A copy.
Yeah, it's just so we can go through it. I mean, you've got it on your phone.
All right, Man City. This is Man City's games coming up. So they got Brighton. That game was their postponed game, and they still got to play that game. Brighton, yeah.
Man City, thank you.
Yeah,
Right.
It's Brighton
Of course.
to be arranged.
You're concentrating. Right. At home to Arsenal. At home to Aston Villa. Away at Crystal Palace. At home against Luton. They've got to go away to Tottenham, where they haven't done well over the years.
That's called off now, isn't it, Tottenham?
Well, it's if you look down there, it's TBA.
Postponed, you still be
One way
around.
spreadsheet. It's very good.
Chelsea, they got a home. Nottingham Forest away. Wolves at home. Fulham away.
Yeah, I think on the Chelsea game, I think that's incorrect. You would.
Oh no, the Chelsea game, yeah,
is
sorry.
neutral.
Yeah.
It's in the FA Cup.
That's the FA Cup game. Sorry.
Good spreadsheet.
Fulham away.
That's why it's in bold. That one.
Yes.
It's not a Premier League game.
Can I crack on? Yeah. Fulham away, and then their last game of the season, they're at home against West Ham. Liverpool's games. Their next game up is against.
Just one thing there, which is very important, what she's reading this spreadsheet, is in between Real Madrid, they've got Luton, and if they get to the semi-finals, they've got Wolves, so they've got a couple of
easier games.
So that's, and I think that's relevant.
Yeah, and that's why on the spreadsheet it's got wins there. Go on.
I wonder what the W was for. Yeah. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I thought. Yeah,
we're going to get to that in a minute, yeah?
This spreadsheet is good.
That's why I don't like to tell him what we're doing, you know what I mean?
No, but it is good.
Now, Liverpool's running.
Liverpool, yeah.
Right? They've got Brighton at home, next up. Then they're at home against Sheffield United. They go away to Manchester United, who just beat them in the FA Cup, of course. They're at home against Crystal Palace. They go away to Fulham, away to West Ham, at home against Spurs. They go away to Aston Villa, and they finish up with a game at home against Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Very important again, because
they're Europa League games.
The Europa League games. In between Atalanta, they've got Crystal Palace. Now, we want them to win that game, Liverpool, because in between their next two semi-finals are Spurs.
Okay.
So they can't go in light against them, can they?
No, but I still think they'll beat Spurs.
Okay.
Yes, because you've got a W on this side here.
Yes.
Right, here we go. Arsenal's games. Obviously, we've got the rearranged game against Chelsea that will come up at some stage. We've got Chelsea at home in that. We've got to go away to Man City. That's our next game up on the 31st of March. Then we're at home to Luton. We go away to Brighton. Right, we're at home against Aston Villa. Away to Wolves. Away at Tottenham. Bournemouth at home. Go away to Manchester United. And then we finish up by playing Everton at home. First question I've got for you three is...
hold on a minute, Rob. In between our Bayern Munich games...
This is the in-betweeners.
The in-betweeners. The in-betweeners, we have Aston Villa at home.
Yep.
And if we do get to the semi-finals, we will then have Bournemouth at home.
Which is
so it's favourable.
Yeah, it's favourable.
Both games at home.
Both games at home.
Both games at home.
So what's the question?
So the question is, right, out of the three teams remain, if it's the three teams going for it, Manchester City, Liverpool, and of course the Arsenal, who has the easier running in your opinion?
Okay, well, I can answer that without opinion, but with fact. So what I did is I looked at every team, each team had to play, took their current league positions and gave an average of the league position that each team was playing against.
It's your supercomputer in your head, right?
No, it's on the spreadsheet.
the Julian Becker supercomputer.
Well, it was Excel, so.
All right.
How much you pay for this computer? If you get it half price.
So
cheap.
Right, give us your analysis then.
Okay, so the average league position that Manchester City are playing is 9.5. The average league position that Liverpool are playing is 10.1, and the average league position that Arsenal are playing is 9.2, which makes Arsenal's the hardest running.
I think as well that
so that makes Liverpool's the easiest.
Liverpool's the easiest.
I think as
if
well,
you just look at league position.
yeah, Arsenal got to play more teams in the top 6 than the others as well. It's to our understanding.
Yeah, it's just the average. So if you base it on league positions, Arsenal have the hardest running.
What do you think? Who do you think's got the hardest running?
Arsenal.
You do?
Yeah.
I think our running, right? Because I don't think. I think it's too simplistic to work it out like that.
That's just one criteria. There's other criteria that the spreadsheet looks at.
I think Liverpool have definitely got the easiest running.
Where do you see Liverpool
I think Arsenal, Man City's running's very, very similar.
Where do you see Liverpool dropping points? If you used to say, right.
Well, their next game against Brighton, they've had a poor record against Brighton over seasons, but
I would say they'll win that.
They're at home, you'd expect them to win that. They'll beat Sheffield United, no problem, obviously. That game against Manchester United, though, is potentially a game where they could drop points. I mean, Man United just beat them. Man United will be desperate to make sure that they don't win, so that's a tough game. Palace at home, I'd expect them to win that. But going away to Fulham is not easy. You know what I mean? They just turned over Tottenham. Yeah. They turned over us, remember, as well. And they're a good side. And also, in their games against Liverpool this season, they've done really well. They've been very unlucky, both in the league and they played them in the cup. They would be unfortunate not to get something out of those games. And they'll give Liverpool a really, really tough game. Going away to West Ham as well is not the easiest. With West Ham, depends what type of West Ham turns up. Their running. When you look at their running, it's not the easiest because they got Tottenham at home, but Tottenham have beaten. Was it last year Tottenham beat them or the year before? But Tottenham. That'll be a
draw
tough.
Last year, didn't they? Should probably won it as well.
Yeah. And then they've got to go away to Aston Villa, and both Tottenham and Aston Villa are going to be after a top 4 place. So that won't be easy as well. I mean, then they'll finish up with Wolves. That's a formality in my books.
They've also got Everton to be arranged. So
is that at Anfield though, isn't it?
Anfield, yes, that's home. So I see Liverpool dropping points in the following games. I think they'll draw at Man United. They'll draw at Fulham, and one of the reasons they'll draw at Fulham is because that's literally just after their game against Atalanta, and I think they'll lose at Villa, and those will be the only points that they'll drop. So they'll get 2 draws and 1 loss in their final 10
According
games.
to your supercomputer.
Well, yeah.
I don't think they'll lose to Villa.
I think they'll lose to Villa because Villa have been historically very good this season at home.
All right. City.
It's got smashed 4-0 by Spurs.
And the thing is,
did your computer ever glitch at that?
No, but there's always anomalies in a season, and that wasn't an anomaly.
They got smashed 3-0, I think, against Newcastle as well.
Yeah.
At home.
Did you glitch?
There's always 2 anomalies.
Did your computer never pick that up, did it?
Did you plug the computer in?
Yeah.
Was it working?
You spent 2 hours on that, yeah?
Yeah, 2 hours.
So you come up to the conclusion that they're going to lose 1 game and that'll be at Villa.
And they'll draw. Do
you know where 2, I think
and they'll get 23 points, which will give them a total of 87 points at the end of the season.
Do you know where I think that they might slip up? Brighton at home.
Brighton's been a bit of a bogey team for them.
I'll tell you why that one. Because Arsenal playing City later on. There's always that game's on a little bit like we was at Brentford. You know you've got to win that game.
Yeah, I think they will win that. I think potentially where they could slip up is Man United. I think that game.
The only game.
Man United, and I think that Fulham away, and Villa away are difficult games, really difficult games. And I think Tottenham, because it's going to be the same for us. But these teams are going for top 4. You know what I mean? They're going for top 4, both them and Villa. I think those are not easy games either. So, and they've got to go away to Villa, and that's not going to be easy. Manchester City, let's have a look at them. So they've got Brighton. That game's going to be later. We don't know the date of that game, but they've got to play Brighton. But obviously, they got us, right? So a chance for us to take points off of them. Then they've got Aston Villa at home. Remember, Aston Villa also, there's two teams in Arsenal and Aston Villa have both beaten Manchester City this season. I mean, at our places, but we've both beaten Manchester City this season. So I think for them, those two games are absolutely crucial for them. If they win those two games, they're sitting very, very pretty. I feel that's when they start getting that unstoppable momentum that they've had over the years on if they win those two games. Crystal Palace, they go away to. They only won that 1-0 last year. Remember, they got that late penalty to win that game. It was a real sickener, but you'd expect them to win that. But then they go away to Tottenham. Now, this is a real bogey team for them, isn't it, Tottenham? They got two games in this period, right, that are big bogey teams from, right?
The Spurs games to be
all right,
out.
but it will be at some stage, right?
It'll probably be towards the end of the season.
Right, but that Tottenham, remember Tottenham are going for top four, it's going to be a difficult game for them because they seem to be the one team, Tottenham, that's been able to regularly turn over City. And then they've got to play Chelsea at home. They haven't beaten Chelsea this season. The Chelsea game's
neutral. It's FA Cup.
The Chelsea game's the FA Cup. Sorry, scrap that one. They've got to go away to Nottingham Forest. You'd expect them to win that. At home against Wolves, they'll win that. They should win that. They go away to Fulham. Could Fulham? Again, Fulham's one of them teams that could take points off of you. And then they finish off with a home game against West Ham. You'd expect them to win that. So I think the critical period for them is the next couple games coming up. 2 home games for them at the Etihad, Arsenal and Aston Villa.
Well, they're not going to drop many points, are they?
But I don't think any of the teams are going to drop that many points. They're going to win the majority. I can't see City losing any of their games, but I do envisage that they'll draw 3 of them, and one of them will be against us.
So what's your draw on your spreadsheet?
Was the Arsenal game,
Brighton and Spurs.
I
don't see him dropping points against Brighton. I don't see him dropping against
But it is an away game. And the reason for Brighton is because that game is going to be shoehorned in towards the end of the season. And I do see them getting past Real Madrid. So I see them getting a fixture pile up. And they've got 2 rearranged games, whereas Arsenal have only got the 1 rearranged game to shoehorn in. Okay. And I see Brighton being one. Brighton is going to be one of those. So I see them drawing at Brighton, drawing at Spurs, and I think they'll draw against us.
Brighton, though, they've been that great to be.
Well, they beat them last year.
That was last year, but they've been great recently, have they? I mean,
no, but I think, and I also envisage that to be Brighton's last home game of the season as well, which gives it a little bit of a. I mean, it all depends on how the fixtures come, but I can see that being.
All right. I look at that and I think if City beat Arsenal,
they beat Arsenal, they beat Villa. I think
it's done.
It's not done. How can you say it's done? You always say it's done. So I mean,
stick a fork in it, Julian. I'd rather stick a fork in you, but I'm telling you that now.
I mean, do I need to remind you of the conversation that you, Ty, and myself had when we left Fulham?
Yeah, that's true. You said it was done then.
Oh, he said more than was done.
You know what? We played. I'll tell you what. Should I tell them what I said? I'll tell what I actually said at Fulham. I said, right, because they were going, we're going to win the league and all that. So I said, right, would you put your old, your chopper on the old chopping block, And
so I said yes.
He said he'd put it on. So anyway, after the game at Sheffield United, I see him. He come up to me, he's shouting out, "You got your axe! You got your axe! You got." I go, "What's he on about? You got your axe? Have you got it on the chopping board?" Yeah.
But that's the thing with you. As soon as they're like. As soon as something bad happens, it's all over. You did. So you just said. Just said if they lose it, it's done. It's done, and that's what you're.
Well, I don't see. I think you're being very, very bold with your statement there. Like Brighton away, you're looking at like Spurs to do us a favour. I don't see that.
No, but they've got not a great record against Spurs, have they?
It's not doing us a favour. They have to win Spurs.
They've got to get
for their own,
and they're in.
And it's not about the supporters. All right, the supporters. You ask the average Spurs fan, would you prefer Champions League or Arsenal to win the league? And they'll almost all choose they don't want Champions League. They'd give up Champions League to not have Arsenal win the league. But the players are different.
Yeah, of course they are. I get that. I get that.
So I think they're going to be totally motivated.
All right, let's have a look at the Arsenal running, right? So we've got to get the Chelsea game rearranged, right, which we should have played last weekend. That's going to have to be rearranged at some stage, but that is at home. We play Chelsea at home. Of course, next up is we go away to the Etihad to take on Manchester City. Then we're at home against Luton. We go away to Brighton, home to Aston Villa, away at Wolves, away at Tottenham, at home against Bournemouth, away against Manchester United, and then we finish off with Everton at home. We finished off with them last year as well at home.
No, we finished off against...
You don't need that no more.
Yeah, we finished it up against Wolves last season. It was Everton the season before.
Sorry, correction, yeah.
You don't need that no more on that spreadsheet.
Now, what do you think?
Simple as that.
What?
If we win, we've got to win at the Etihad. We've got to win.
No,
if Arsenal win the league,
if
Arsenal are going to win the league,
we don't need to win at the Etihad.
That we've got to win at the Etihad.
Win at the Etihad. Yeah. What about a draw?
I think that lets in.
Have a look at the spreadsheet, how it works.
I've just looked in the spreadsheet.
Right, let's
I've looked at your spreadsheet, right? And I'll tell you what, it's very, very. You've gone like Manchester City get a draw against Brighton.
Yep.
And now you're predicting.
Also, that we draw against Brighton as well. That we draw against City, we win against Luton, and then we draw against Brighton. And because we've had 2 draws out of 3 games, I'm sure you would have given it up. You'd give it up if we didn't win against City.
No, I'm not saying that. I think, like, you know,
but after
if we don't beat City, right, you know, we've got to go to Brighton and win. Simple as that, like, yeah.
Well, if you actually look at it,
if you look at to go and win every single game.
Look at it this way, right? You know how I was looking on it, right? I was looking on it like, what did we do last year? So last year we beat Chelsea at home. We lost away to Man City. Luton weren't in the league, but we'd assume at home we should be beating Luton. We went away, we beat Brighton quite comprehensively. Remember, it was like 4-1, it was 4-2, something like that, right? Villa at home, we beat Villa at home. We went away and we beat Wolves. We went away and we beat Tottenham. We beat Bournemouth at home. But we did lose away to Man United, and we beat Everton at home. So if you go off of last year's form, right, the 2 games where you look at it and say, those ones in particular, it's the 2 Manchester clubs. We've got to go to Man United and Man City and get something out of those games, right? The other places we did actually go to last year, even those tough, where it looks tough on paper. I mean, as I said, we went to Brighton. It was quite a comprehensive win, you know? We went to Tottenham. It was 2-0 we beat them. It was, I know they're a different team this year. You know, they've changed and stuff like that. I mean, the majority of those games that you look at there, Arsenal should win. But there is potential to, and then also you've got to add into the fact the pressure that we're going to be under, and are we going to be able to handle the pressure better than we handled the pressure last year? Because we didn't handle the pressure very well when that started. You know, it's all right writing out spreadsheets and that, but what that doesn't do is take into account the pressure. Man City, used to it. Year in, year out, they're up against this pressure. They handle it better than anybody else. Liverpool have handled the pressure really, really well. Been able to go on great runs when when they won the title, and also when they've been challenging for the title. This is new to us. Well, not new. We had it last year. We had it last year, but it's new. Our experience in it is newer than the other 2. Can we handle that pressure? But the games are, I think Liverpool got the easiest running. I think we've recognised that.
So in that thing there, which is an interesting point that Julian said on that computer, we don't lose a game. So that means we go since Fulham without defeat.
Yeah, that'll be 18
games. If you go 18 games undefeated in this league, you've done well. It's a good thing.
But we've done brilliantly to go eight games.
Well, eight on the trot.
It's an amazing run. But then it's not just about, I understand what you're saying about the pressure. I think we are better suited for the pressure. But one thing well, there's several things that the spreadsheet can't sort of take into consideration, but the other one is injuries.
Yeah.
And the other one is a little bit of luck, because I know luck evens itself out over the course of a season, but there is just 10 games to go, and luck can play a factor. The other thing is refereeing performances. You can get a terrible. You can get,
There's
someone
4 games there that frighten me. That frighten me, worry me. City, Spurs for obvious reasons, Manchester United for obvious reasons, and Chelsea.
Yeah. I think we've got Chelsea.
Chelsea is starting to.
Chelsea at home, though.
Yeah,
I think
Chelsea
it's different.
might have other things, but Chelsea, it's a local derby, and they're starting to. Something's not happening, but like they're one of those teams that
Chelsea for me. I think if it was away, but I think at home, I expect Arsenal to win that.
You don't know what you're going to get with them.
The City game for me, the next game up is so important. It's unbelievable. I think for Arsenal, it's about keeping the momentum going. We've had this great momentum. Now we've had the break. If we was to come back and beat City, I feel that's such a huge turning point that will give them the confidence to say, right, you know what? We can go to United. I know we've had a horrible record there. We can go to United and win. We can go to Spurs and win. We can go to Brighton and win. You know what I mean? I think it will give them that. If they lose against City, then all the doubts come back. People, you know what I mean? I think if we lost against City, we're really up against it. It's not over, but we're really, really up against it. I think if we beat City, that's why that game is so huge. If we draw against City as well, that's not a bad result. It's not
bad at all.
No. I'll tell you another difficult game. I know you're going to laugh at me when I say it. Luton's going to be a difficult game. The physical.
Of all the games
at the Emirates,
of all the games,
that's the easiest game
everyone,
left.
No, it's the away games. I know, but I don't think it'd be an easy game, Luton. That's what I'm saying.
There's no easy games, but that out of all the games we've got left, that's the easiest game.
That's the easiest game.
In theory, when I'm looking at it, I think like.
So on what basis?
Home form,
on what basis would Luton be a game that would
because I think they're physically.
But so physically, we're
they give Tottenham a tough game in next week as well. I think that they will do.
Not away, not away. At home, yeah. If they're playing at home, away from home, they're not going to give. Come on.
I'm not saying that we're going to lose that game. I don't see us losing or dropping any points at home, to be fair. But I don't think it'll be easy. Brighton, I don't think it's going to be. I think we'll beat Brighton. I don't think Brighton are. I think they're at this moment in time struggling a little bit. Villa, I think Villa, they're in between their cup game as well, so that's beneficial.
I think that's very fortunate that that's a home game for us.
Yeah. Wolves, I'm glad we got them because we could have been in the FA. That could have been an FA Cup weekend that weekend, but
also when you look at some of the games there,
and that Chelsea game comes in between that Spurs and Wolves game.
But there's another reason why current positions, I put that on the spreadsheet, is because you want to be playing teams around mid-table.
Oh, is that what it is? Like 5, so 5 away. Right, got you.
Yeah, so that one. So Wolves are currently 9th. Now you want to play teams in and around the middle of the league because they've got hopefully less motivation. Whereas the teams at the bottom, you are right in the Luton will be scrapping for their lives, especially with the points deduction that Forest have had. They've got a chance.
That's what I'm saying.
I just think
our quality should come through.
First time they ever come into the Emirates, it's going to be And
I'll tell you where that is a little bit beneficial to us because they've got Tottenham on the weekend, so they might tire themselves out a little bit. Going to that game, I don't know. They got Spurs away.
We don't beat Luton at home, right? We don't deserve to win the league. Let's be real. You know what I mean? We're supposed to win that.
But you remember when we've won leagues before? We had thought like, oh well, that's an easy game, and ended up drawing the game. And
well, we did that last year. Southampton.
We've already done that this year. Look at what's happened against Fulham. So
no, I'm talking about in the running because there is a pressure that comes into this.
Yeah,
now.
there
is a difference.
That's what it's going to boil down to, the pressure, and also what you said there was so true. Injuries. Remember last year, Saliba, Tomiyasu, these guys being out injured, that really does.
Gabriel's out now, isn't he?
Gabriel's out for, hopefully, I think they said he'll be back after the
but they also
break.
said Santi Cazorla will be back in a few weeks.
Yeah, but I think this one's different. I think international games are coming up.
Well,
It's like, I reckon if we had a game at the weekend, he would have been all right.
I'd-
But what I would say is that we can't, handle a big load of injuries to certain key players. The one good thing about Arsenal at the moment is that literally everybody's back. Everybody's back apart from Timber, isn't it, really?
Well, he's training now. They reckon he's available.
Yeah, so we're actually in good shape injury-wise from now till the end of the season as it stands. But getting some critical injuries to certain key players, like if a Declan Rice went down or, that would be bad. But then we're in better shape than we were last year, because last year when Partey went down, there's no one really coming for him. Now, Declan went down, you could bring in Partey, the squad's stronger, definitely stronger. I think Liverpool have got the easiest run-in. I think Man City's and Arsenal's run-in's pretty even. It's on that. I think for City, those two get the next games for them against, as I said, Arsenal and Villa is going to define what they do. I think Liverpool, that game against Man United in a few weeks' time is going to sort of define if they get through that, But then, and it's sort of a real mix, because like you look at City's running, and if they get past some of these immediate games, then you start to look at it and say, yeah, they got a nice sail to the end. They finish off with Forest away, Wolves at home, Fulham away, West Ham, right? You look at Liverpool, all right, they got some easy games coming up now on paper. If they negotiate those, and they got that Man United one sort of third up, that's a tough one. But actually, when you look at if it's tight and they're running, right near the end, they got to go away to Fulham, away to West Ham, Tottenham at home, right, away to Villa. They finish with Wolves, that would be a standard, but that's not easy, isn't it? When you can't, when you get into that stage sometimes,
pressure
when
games,
you can't afford to slip up. I know we're looking at the games all together, but just looking at it like that, that's quite testing right at the end. Whereas you look at us now, obviously the City game, tough. Then Luton, then away to Brighton, then Villa at home, they expect that. Then away to Wolves, then away to Tottenham, tough. Bournemouth at home, then away to Man United. It's more balanced now. If you get my sort of meaning, when you start to look at like the ending of it, it's a little bit more balanced. So I think like the ending of it for City is that if they get past this bulk of games and they're in good shape, you'd expect them to go on with those last few games to just run through those and win it. Liverpool, they have to win these next few games coming up, because their set of games near the end of it are tough. And we've sort of
Everton always fight. They're going to be fighting.
Yeah, and then we sort of got it where it's like tough, bit easier, tough, bit easier, tough. So there's three bits different sort of dynamics to the three sort of run-ins.
So at the end of your analysis, who do you have as winning the league?
The end of my analysis, you've got to make favourites. For me, has to be Man City, because their two toughest games that they've got on paper are at home at the Etihad, and they've beaten us there year in, year out. Can we change that? And against Villa, they normally beat them as well. So they're the favourites. Second favourites, if I'm being 100% honest, it has to be Liverpool. Because like you guys said right at the start, and you look overall, they have the easiest games. Overall. And then we're third favourites, I think. Because even though we're top of the league at the moment, because we got a harder running than Liverpool. It's a similar running to City. And then you've got to also factor in, like you said, the Champions League double header against Bayern Munich and either City or Real Madrid. That's tough mixed up in this. So I think we got the hardest.
Yes. So
Just be real.
So when I went through it last,
what are you saying?
Yes. When I went through it last night, and I was predicting each result, I had it at the end that Man City and Liverpool would end up with 87 points, and Arsenal would end up with 88 points. But I thought maybe I'm putting some kind of, and I tried to be as neutral as I could, and then I looked at other sort of supercomputer statistical analysis that have been done, and I looked at what Opta were predicting. And Opta only gave Arsenal an 18.8% chance of winning the league. So maybe I'm completely biased there, but I thought I was doing it with loads of different factors and taking emotion out of it. But Opta seemed to completely disagree with me and agree with you.
No, well, listen, the bookies have got Man City as favourites, haven't they? Liverpool second and Arsenal third. But that will change. That's what I'm saying. You know, when you turn around, you ain't got to win at City. I guarantee you, if Arsenal beat City, right, those odds change.
I think if Arsenal
and that's why that's important.
But
if Arsenal beat City, we're favourites.
Yeah, but they don't have to beat City to go and win the league. And actually, my forecast is that we draw at City.
I get that. But what I'm saying is, if City win that game, they're favourites without that game being played at the moment. If that game's played and City go there and win, right, you know, their odds are going to go even shorter. You know, so I think it's vital that Arsenal. And do you know what? I believe Arsenal can get something from it. I really do. Do.
You know, according to the bookies, like you said, the favourites are Man City, Liverpool next, and then Arsenal. You know, it's massive, that game. The other question I want to ask you guys: does that suit us that game's coming up after an international break? That nobody's had the sort of proper preparation for it, or is that?
Yeah,
is it worse for us?
Yeah, and I'd base that on the fact that City have got more players out on international duty than Arsenal do. That we've actually got quite a lot back, but we've got a few kind of injury doubts. The only one that they've got is Kevin De Bruyne, which I think is complete fake. They've got Grealish, which I think is genuinely injured.
You're saying that they're cheating again, are they?
And yes,
they reckon came off with a little knock the other day, didn't they? So,
but I actually think the Gabriel one is far more likely to be genuine. I mean, you look at De Bruyne; he's always going to be in the Belgium team. I don't think it's going to affect his place one way or the other, whether he plays in these friendlies. Whereas Gabriel, it's more of a. I'm not saying players don't want to play for their international teams, but in Brazil, having spent some time there, it's different. That when they're
he's genuinely injured.
Yes, when they're kids, they kind of grow up dreaming that they're going to play for Brazil, whereas we grow up dreaming we're going to play for Arsenal or whatever team that we support. For them, it's Brazil, and the other thing is that Brazil are training at London Colney, so he's not going to be able to get away with it. Well, hang on a minute, what's he doing on the other training pitch? He's not going to get away with it. He's genuinely injured, and I think that he's got more of an injury than they're making out. The fact he's pulled out. I'm a bit concerned about that.
I think he took a kick a couple of times against Brentford, didn't he? And I think it's just probably a little bit of bruising or whatever.
The one thing I hope, right, is that like those players like Declan Rice, Saka don't play both.
Yeah, there's going to be some sort of.
It's two tough games, isn't it? Like it's Brazil. And then England are playing Belgium, right? I don't want to see.
There's going to be some sort of arrangement.
I hope so, because there's been times when he's played them in both, like especially Declan Rice.
Yeah,
like he'll play like.
Be furious if he does.
I hope he does.
Especially when he's only taking 5 midfield players. You know what I mean? Ridiculous. But I think that because the one player that's going to be used all the time is Zinchenko, only because they're in a playoff.
Yeah,
with Ukraine, so it's not like a friendly for them. But all the rest of them.
He could probably,
and also Kivia as well.
Kivia
as well. He's in a playoff as well, so they're not going to be rested.
Yeah.
So it's important that they come through unscathed. And when you think about it, if Gabriel is out, we don't want Kivia being out neither.
Okay, well, listen, those are the run-ins. You've seen it for yourself. It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be an anxiety-filled next couple of months. So I could go either way. It's so close, and it's going to be an unbelievable run-in, and we'll be covering it all the way here on AFTV. A couple of things to remind you about. Don't forget to check out a show that was done yesterday, the Supporters Club. Supporters Club is out right now. Really, really interesting show. Although Lee wasn't too happy with some of the opinions on it, right? So, make sure you check that out. Also, don't forget, it's non-league weekend this weekend, and it's supported by Prostate Cancer UK. They're doing a real initiative on it. So cancer, it's a charity that I support as well. So make sure you go and check out one of your local non-league teams and support that charity. That's happening this weekend. And also, it's good to be back here in the studio, despite the fact that there was a certain person who didn't want me here, and he was slagging me off.
It was a complete opposite.
Slating me last week.
Want you here.
But maybe I allowed you to talk today. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's and I did allow you to get your spreadsheet.
Thank you.
I've got your pressure washer. Because I heard that was a big issue as well.
Oh, he's going mad about that.
I wasn't going mad.
Stolen your pressure washer.
He said it took me. I'll tell you what he actually said. If I get that back, it took me six months to get me jack back.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
Yeah.
Like, is that true? Yeah.
No.
Was it a jack or something?
No, the jump leads.
Jump leads.
No,
It's all right. The truth comes out, man.
Slag you
all
off.
caught on camera. You know what I mean? Slagging me off about a jet
You
washer.
could say about that as well, because you was downstairs and said, it took me 6 months to get me jump leads back.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, what did you warn me before we went on?
What?
You said if I start slating you, then there'd be certain things. So I've said nothing.
No,
I've said nothing.
I've got this message in here that was my backup for that as well.
And you've already gone, haven't you, on the mixing and the stirring?
Yeah.
And I promised that I wouldn't mention. You mentioned non-league games. Well, I went to see my own non-league game this weekend, didn't I?
Last weekend,
yeah. I went to see non-league. Now, the first thing I would say is I was really, really impressed that people of a certain age, which I am one of them, can still run around. Well, say run. Most of them were running around on a football pitch. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But I went to see Lee play.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
What, hat trick?
No. Well, the first hat trick was.
Well, he didn't score a hat trick, didn't he?
It was.
Oh, you won?
And it was really interesting. The first thing I did was, I heard Lee telling me that he was the star of the team. And
I never said
yes,
that.
You did. You said he was a star.
You're the captain.
No.
Hold on a minute. You said before you're the captain of the team.
No, not that.
Yeah. You did.
No, I did. Never said I was the captain.
You did. You said you were the captain.
Well, he definitely wasn't the captain. So I listened to the team talk. It was good team talk. The manager said, we're never going to win the league, and we don't want to win the league, which I thought, it's interesting team talk.
Don't want to win the league.
And then he said, right, you're sub to Lee. I thought, okay. And we watched the game.
Sub?
We watched the first.
I've left.
Watched the first, and he kept saying, and he says to the manager, yeah, I'm all with it. It's all about a team game. He was talking about slagging people off behind their back. I'm not happy with this. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. So his team doing really well. They're 3-0 up. They bring Leon.
No, 3-1 at half time. 3-1. Don't start.
Sorry. 3-1 up. The superstar comes on. I mean, for me, it was a cross between, to be fair, you're a cross between Ozil and Bergkamp. I mean, Ozil for the work rate and Bergkamp, not the player, more the statue. And I've gone round the other side to give him some encouragement. I'm going, go on, run. He's just stood there. No. I know how to play the game. I'll be the game changer. And he was right. To be fair, he was right. The first thing he does is give the ball away. The other team goes up and gets the second goal.
I was fouled.
You weren't fouled. So you've given the ball away for their second goal. Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay. The third goal. Nothing to do with you. You were nowhere near the ball as usual. And then it's 3-3 and it's going into a couple of minutes to go.
Injury time.
Yeah, it was injury time. And he gives away a penalty and the other team wins 4-3. So he was right. He was the star man, just unfortunately for the other
You're the
team.
game changer.
Game changer. Hold on, right, it's coming out there.
Hold on, wait. I don't want to wait. Listen. So you're not the captain. You told me. Told me you're the captain of the team.
No, I've never ever said I was the
captain. You told me before you're the captain. You said you're the captain.
Not
right?
that.
And you always make out like you're some sort of midfield general. Right? You're a midfield private by the sides of it.
I am a midfield general. But
you gave away the ball that got this. So when you came on, you're winning 3-1. You give away the ball, right? They get 3-2, and then you.
There was a lot going on. I'll give it away.
You give a penalty away to make them win.
Yeah,
and you wonder why you was on the bench.
Which was a dive.
And you wonder why you were on the bench.
I was on the bench because I don't play every week. You know what I mean? Because I'm obviously at the Arsenal or whatever. So you has to play players in at first. So I get that. So I never had the hump about that.
Yes, you did.
So, like, you know.
You didn't have a hump to his face, but behind his back.
I thought I was doing a Robbie. Like, no, I was. So I accepted that. And it just wasn't my day to that. It wasn't my game.
Let me hear you slagging off another Arsenal player.
And the pitch was awful. The pitch weren't very well. You know,
it's the same pitch.
Can I just quickly finish? Can I quickly just finish this like now? Because I've got to do this. I've got to do this.
We're running out of time. Let's do this quick.
Right. This is from Bill and Kay. Like, my husband and I are avid Arsenal fans and have just started watching the Invincible podcast. And can you imagine to our surprise when we saw Julian on the show? He won't remember us, but when he started showing us his medals, he mentioned the cruise that he was on the Crossbar Challenge. We couldn't believe it, as we was on that same cruise. And we also got an offer from Sega offering us half price for this cruise. So we knew it was Julian on this cruise. Right? And can you believe it, when he done this Crossbar Challenge, that he has failed to tell you that there was a lot of people absent from this through seasickness, right? So didn't turn up to the event.
There were still 20 people that did.
Okay. And, hold on, it goes. I'm glad he comes second, beating that horrible man who won it, who was on a Zimmer frame.
That's rubbish. I wouldn't remember them because
it's just that they come from Southampton. And he said, like, also he had 2 hip replacements. And he beat him, and that was the reason.
Just lies. It's just lies. You've probably written it yourself.
No, this is true. This is what happened. You actually said it was a couple from Southampton. He actually said it was a couple from Southampton.
No, I said.
So is this true that there was a load of people ill on it that didn't play on it, like? And also it says in it that you didn't even hit the crossbar once. No one hit it. It was the one nearest got it.
No, for a start, it wasn't Sega. It was Royal Caribbean, and on the medals. And you've seen the medals, it says Royal Caribbean, so that...
Did you hit the crossbar?
Yes, that's why it's called the Crossbar Challenge.
No one hit the nearest one?
It was the one that won, it got the nearest.
No, I was hitting the crossbar.
I don't know if what I believe.
So when it comes to football now, I've still got the touch, I just don't have the legs.
Nor does Lee, by the sound.
He didn't have the touch either.
Listen, I've done some good things in that game as well.
Only in the first half when you weren't playing.
Anyway, listen, we've come to the end of the show today. Hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget, you can check out this podcast on all the usual formats. We'll be back next week. Looking forward to that big game. It's Arsenal going to the Etihad to take on Man City. It's all covered here on AFTV, and we are sure looking forward to that game. It's going to be huge. So make sure you check out the podcast next week where we discuss that game.